Welcome to the Husky Highlight Show's pregame post-up. I'm Lauren Lemieux.
And I'm Kevin Dowd.
And the Huskies will be taking on the Oregon State Beavers Saturday, February 16th at 8 p.m. here in Alaska Airlines Arena. But first, let's go over what happened on Wednesday night when the Huskies lost to University of Oregon. The final score was 65-52. By the time Shawn Kemp Jr. slammed this one down for the Huskies' first bucket of the night, the Ducks already had 7 points up on the board. Then, with 10-12 left in the half, Desmond Simmons drains this one for three, UW down one at 14-13. Tony Woods tries to back down big man Aziz Njai, but is rejected. Desmond Simmons tips it up to Abdul Gadi, who lays it in for two. Huskies up 15-14 for their only lead of the night. But the Ducks snatched the lead right back, 33 seconds left on the clock, and swish, Damian Dotson nails a three. Oregon's up 33-24. Then with 6 seconds left on the clock, CJ Wilcox drains a three of his own, but the Huskies trail by 6 going into the locker room for halftime at 33-27. 4 minutes into the second half, Njai grabs the rebound and goes up strong to make the and one play for the Dogs, bringing the score to 35-31 Oregon. 14:24 left to play in the game. Andrew Andrews tries to muscle through the lane, but gets knocked down. Luckily, Shawn Kemp's there to grab the ball and slam it in for the Dogs. Huskies still trailing at 41-34. Oregon's Jonathan Lloyd snatches the steal off an inbounds play and drives it to the hoop for two, giving the Ducks a 12-point lead at 46-34. The Huskies managed to bring their deficit down to 6 with this pull-up from Abdul Gadi, but the Huskies weren't able to get any closer than that in the remaining 8 minutes and 34 seconds of the game. The Ducks gained yet another victory against the UW and brought their Pac-12 record to 9-3. All right, and we're back here inside of Alaska Airlines Arena. Now, the Huskies scored a season low of 52 on Wednesday, and the Oregon Ducks only put up 65, so we can't really blame that game on the defense. What went wrong on the offensive end?
Well, I mean, as long as Lorenzo Romar has been here, the Huskies have always kind of relied on getting easy points in transition to kind of spark their offense and get things moving, and those just haven't been there for the last 4 weeks or so for this team, for whatever reason. At that point, then offensively, the Huskies kind of have to rely on just their high post offense and running their motion at times and things like that. At that point, a lot of their offense is either dumping it down in low to Aziz Njai, which works about 50% of the time, or else running sets and trying to get good looks for CJ Wilcox and Scott Suggs on the wings. And when they have been able to get looks for those guys these last few games, the shots haven't been falling. So at that point, you kind of get the stagnant offense that we've been seeing out of the Huskies last few games.
Definitely, and often an issue of shots not falling is a mental thing, as Coach Romar mentioned, so the Huskies are going to need to find a way to pull themselves out of this confidence slump.
We got to get an understanding. We can be competitive. We got to believe it again. 7 out of 8 losses, there can be some doubt there. We have to remove the doubt. Somehow, when we step on that floor against Oregon State, we got to go out there and believe we're capable.
Besides mental toughness, Kevin, what are the Huskies going to need to do to beat the Oregon State Beavers, who are coming off of a 67-66 victory against Wazoo?
Right, well, I think the main thing they're going to have to do for starters is to not get off to the slow start that plagued them against Oregon on Wednesday, that killed them against Oregon State the last time they played, against Utah when they played, against USC when they played. It's really been an issue the last 4 weeks, Huskies' slow starts, and that can't happen if they're going to win on Saturday. Second thing, I think they got to have really strong interior defense from Njai and Shawn Kemp Jr. down low. Oregon State's got Joe Burton down low who can score. Eric Moreland's really physical and aggressive rebounder. Devon Collier can do things down low as well. So Oregon State has a lot of weapons there that the Huskies are going to have to account for. And the third thing, I think the Huskies are going to have to, they got to figure out something on offense, and that might be finding some points from players like Andrew Andrews and Kemp that haven't been scoring as much the last couple games, but have definitely shown that they can score in a pretty large volume. And I think if they can step up against the Beavers, that could really help the Huskies get moving offensively.
Energy is really going to be a key factor in this game. 5 of Oregon State's last losses only came by a margin of 8 points or less. This is a team that if you sleep on them, they're definitely going to come for you and take away the win. So the Huskies need to come with a lot of energy Saturday night.
Yeah, the Huskies could use a win on Saturday for a number of reasons, but maybe the most important one of those is kind of establishing themselves for any postseason seeding or any postseason tournament that they might qualify for. At this point, having lost 7 of their past 8 and sitting at 5-7 in the conference, the NCAA tournament might be even out of the picture, assuming they don't pull off a miraculous Pac-12 tournament championship down in Las Vegas. But if they are able to win out or even win maybe 4 of their last 6, I think an NIT berth is probably pretty realistic for this team. Otherwise, I might be looking at the CBI again for the first time in a few years.
Well, we'll see if the Huskies can get a winning streak going here at Alaska Airlines Arena at 8 p.m. tip-off against Oregon State.
And if you can't make it down in person, the game will be televised at 8 p.m. on Root Sports.
And if you miss it altogether, of course, we have a Husky highlight show coming for you, which you can find on the Daily's YouTube Sports channel. For Kevin, I'm Lauren. Thanks for watching.